afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for attending this session. Thank you, everyone who is attending also online. Hello, everyone, everybody. I hope you are spending very good time in SQL Beach this year. I'm Ana Maria Bisbey-York. I'm from Spain. I'm a BI consultant and trainer and author of contents about analytics and Power BI for LinkedIn Learning and for the Anaya multimedia publisher. Okay, let's define entities and attributes for tabular model in 20 minutes. It's a short session, but I hope you will enjoy. Okay, we will see about the Snowflake versus star schema, looking at the entities and attributes. We will see the difference between multiple dimensions and miscellany, one just miscellany dimension, and what about if we need some attributes that we don't have and we need them by requirements. Okay, let's start. Here we have a Snowflake schema. That means that we have some tables, for example, team geography, that it's not directly related to the fact table. In this case, we have gene product category, gene product subcategory, the same situation. The problem, speaking about the entities, the problem here is that the columns that we need from here are, for example, English product category name and English product subcategory name. Just two columns. And we have a lot of columns here. And the idea is, if the columns is in our model just for describing one entity, like product in this case, we need to change our model and we need to put all the columns together. That means all the attributes in the corresponding entity. How we could change this model? We could create the star schema model. Depending on your scenarios, we could do, for example, in SQL Server, joining tables, or we could merge queries. So here we have star schema model, and we have less columns, and all the columns that we need for describing one entity, all the attributes are together in the same entity. Okay? Any questions so far? It's fine. Okay. Yes, the second case. What about if we have, for example, a very big flat table? Today in the morning, Benny explained a lot of things very interesting about the flat tables versus star schema. So do not lose this session because it was fantastic. Okay, but we have just one table. And from these one tables, I've created this model. And as you can see, it's a star schema model. It's okay. All the dimensions are directly related to the fact table, so it's fine. Life is good. No, it's not so good. Why? Because we have a lot of dimensions here that have very slow information. What about my mouse is not working? Okay, let's try again. No? Bueno, okay. Now it's clear. Okay, for example, delivery table. We have just one column for the primary key, here, 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 and just one column with the name of the values, with the description of the values. We have no entities because we have no attributes. For example, the difference is here. We have several attributes for products and several attributes for customer. These are good entities. So, and the other problem that we have is that for our fact table, we have a lot of columns here that probably we can improve. So that means we could just put one column in our fact table to connect to other table that contains all of these descriptions. It's not a solution for every scenario, but if you have a lower quantity of different distinct values, it's a good solution. So we need to improve, and one option is to create a miscellany table. So if we have just one flat table, we could reference, select columns for each case, I will show you, remove duplicates, and add a new column at the end with the index. These index columns will contain different values for each row. And this index column will be the column that we will use for the relationship with the fact table. So let's see. Okay, no? Now it's okay. Okay, we have, this is our table. Okay, we can read off. This is our table. You can see that we have a lot of columns here. If we can navigate, a lot of columns, okay? So we can create a miscellany from these tables. In this case, if we reference, if we use the reference option we have here, we could reference, and reference makes a link between the two. And now we have here. We have the reference by first, then remove other columns. Which columns? We need to maintain the text columns we have in our miscellany table, for our miscellany table, because text columns are the attributes we will obtain and we will use later for the description of our activity, whatever, sales or whatever. Currency, territory, delivery, orientation, and priority. Then remove duplicates. We have less because we need just the different values. We need to guarantee this. And then we could add an index. We have here an option, add columns, add index column, and we can decide from 1, from 0, or whatever we can. With these 4 steps, we have a miscellany ready with this just one index, just one column, and now it's time to combine the two. By first, reference, remove other columns. In this case, the idea is to remove all the columns that we don't need. But by now, we need the text columns, just for shorter. But we need by now. And date, quantity, and price, that is our facts. And then also primary key for customer and primary key for product. That's it. Okay, then merge queries using text columns. So this is the point here. We have number 1, and number 1 for currency, number 2 for territory here, and number 2 for territory here. Okay, So then, after the combination of the two, we obtain, I will show you, we obtain a table that contains all the values and expand, and that's it. Remove other columns, and now we have a beautiful fact table with all the columns, numerics, and so on. The model is better now because we changed the design. Okay? Now it's better. What do you think? Are you agree? Yes? Okay. If we have our data in different shape, that means data comes from different sources or different shapes, we have several tables with not columns for joining. Okay, this is a different situation. The solution is add a new column, a new custom column, and we can call to the other query, Power Query, we can ask to the query and then take the information. I will show you in a second. Expand the information, and then we can add a new column, index, and it will be the same process. Okay, let's see. Here we have our entities. The data source, it's not important here. For example, if I take one, I will, for example, duplicate, just for showing you the idea, add column, add custom column. Now we have here add column, add custom column here, and now, for example, D for delivery, the name is not important by now, and now I could ask for another query, Power Query, and now I could select delivery here and obtain all the information from the delivery table. As you can see, I have no available here, but it's possible to do. So delivery, okay. Now I have a table, and in this table, for each row, I have the same information, the information from delivery table. I expand, and now we have all the currencies and all the deliveries combined. And that's it, because we have no columns for merging. But it's possible to do, and it's possible to do one more time, and for each one. So we will have a lot of combinations without any code in action, just because Power Query allows us to do. And then at the index, and the process is the same later. Okay? So far, so good? Is good for you? Okay. Last problem here. We need some new attributes that we don't have them, but we need them by requirements. You know, the customer is the customer of the box. Okay, so we have our information about sale, dates, ID product, and quantity. That's it. And we have also ID product and name of our products. No more. But we need to provide to our customer the information about product type, level of sales, and volume. From Power Query, I'm not speaking about the context filter, index, and so on. No, they want to have this information as attribute here. Okay. What is the idea? The idea is to merge two columns and to aggregate. So here we have 3 temporary columns. They will be rid of in the future. But these 3 columns allows us to have the minimum of date. So I have the option to know, is this an historical an historic product, or it's new, or it's never sold, for example. The count of ID products have the information, let me, to know how many times this product is sold. And the sum of quantity allows me to know how many units of this product was sold. Then just create conditional columns for the information and then the result. Okay, let's see. I will show you very quickly where's attributes. Attributes here. Okay, so we have products, merge queries. Now we will have for each product the information about the sales, and then instead of the most important part is here. Instead of expand, I'm aggregating their data. So if I aggregate, I have the option here. We have a lot of options of obtain information, very valuable information of our data. Okay, so aggregates and then change type and add conditional columns. Depending on the requirement, we could have very easy conditional columns depending on the situation, and we have the product that was never sold, historic, or recent. And then we have these 3 columns at the end with all the information we need, and then we can rid of these temporary columns. So at the end, we will have ID product, name of products, and product type, level of sales, and volume. What do you think? It's good for the customer. It's okay. That was the requirement. And another thing I want to show you is that, as you can see, at the end we have a very good columns because there will be up to 3 values, no more. 3 distinct values for product type, level of sales, and volume. And if I analyze a lot and a lot of products that give me a lot of minimum of dates and counts and so on, distinct values will be increasing. They just be temporary in my process. I will rid of them, and the solution will be the same 3 distinct values in my model. So for the modeling purposes, the attributes are good, and the solution is good. The final columns are good for the model. So the tabular model contains tables and attributes, tables or entities. Entities contains attributes. These attributes help us to describe the entity and describe the action we have in our fact tables. And the proper definition and design of the entities and attributes is relevant for the model, for the model's performance and usability. Yes, are you agree? I have 1 minute left. Yes. Thank you. I have 1 minute for the question, or I'm in LinkedIn. You can find me in LinkedIn. I'm very happy to contact and to answer the question that you have. But if anyone has a question, what do you think? It's good ideas. It's easy. It's depending on the scenarios, could be more or less quickly solution, but it's good. For the model, it's good. For sure, for the model, it's good. Okay, thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it.